What is happening? Welcome back to the channel, folks. It has been a couple days or maybe even a week since I did an update, so figured I'd make a video. Where I last left off, I was putting in these studs, and as you can see, about half of them are missing again, and that's because after I waited for the Loctite to dry, I was still able to back out some of these studs with little to no effort. So I'm taking them all. I took all of them back out. These are the ones that are still actually locked in, so these ones are working fine, but I'm gonna go ahead and reinstall some of these. So I'm just gonna combine the two ways that you're supposed to do how you're supposed to use this Loctite, and then that's basically, if it's capped off, you're supposed to start by putting in some Loctite inside of the threaded hole. And the reason for that is when you drive the threads for the stud into there, you're actually creating a vacuum and you're pulling the Loctite up from the bottom of this. Whereas if you have it on the outside and then you put it in, it's going to be pushing air up and out, which is going to be pushing the Loctite up and out, which means you're not going to have any Loctite in there when you're done threading it in there. So you can see that's pulling the Loctite up and out of the hole there. Alright, now that we got the studs all put into the block over there, I'm going to let that dry for a day, let it cure, and I'm just going to get ready, get this oil pan ready for it to be installed tomorrow. So just kind of peel it on off there, buddy. Alright, so you may have noticed that I got tired of using a razor blade and the Scotch-Brite is just not working. So I busted this out. This is just like a polishing, like, buffer bit for my little Milwaukee, what do you call this? Like hand drill thing. And it's cleaned this up real quick and real nice, so yeah. I'll knock that out real quick. One little tip is to clean your oil pan, so when you install it again, if there is an oil leak, you'll be able to see it's a fresh oil leak. So if you clean your oil pan nice and clean before you install it, you'll know if you are in fact springing a new leak or not. Alright, so let's see, where did I leave off? I had like a super bad nosebleed and I was out of the garage for like an hour. I should probably go to the doctor and get checked out. But for now, we're going to check out this. Alright, so we got this all cleaned up. I hit this with the mass airflow cleaners, pretty much the same thing as brake cleaner. I also hit the surface of the block with the same cleaner. I'm going to go ahead and throw on a couple dabs of Honda Bond around the main seal area, and then in the back over here. Alright, so we got the surface of the oil pan all cleaned up, and since I did see just a gang of Honda Bond all over my my oil pan when I took off all the gasket and stuff, I'm just going to pretty much replicate that. So you're also going to apply some Honda Bond to these points right here next to the rear main seal, and then also in these little pockets right here. There we go, that's better. We got the Honda Bond covering up. There are these lines that are where the main seal separates from the block, and you just basically coat those, and then you do the same with where the timing belt would be at. There's lines right here and right here, and you just cover those up so you don't leak oil out of the side of the block. And I'm pretty certain a lot of these other oil pan gaskets are flat on one side. This one actually has indentations on it, and I believe these indentations are there to basically kind of like, I don't have a better way of saying it, but like soak up the Honda Bond. So this side would be facing up, or this side would be facing towards the block because it has these little etches in them, I believe. And those match up exactly pretty much with where the Honda Bond would be at on their respective sides of the block. So just kind of show the sides got the 2 bolts on it. So this side's this side, and if you see those etching marks right there in the gasket, it's kind of hard to, I can't focus on it because I'm holding up 2 things at once. But you can see that etching right there on the corner matches up pretty much exactly with that, and these ones right here match up exactly with that. The Honda Bond right there. So now that we got that part figured out, you can go ahead and apply this gasket to the oil pan. And I waited a little bit because I wanted to make sure that this RTV, the Honda Bond, was nice and tacky. Alright, so now that we got everything all lined up on the oil pan, we can toss it on the block. Now we throw on our nuts. Alright, now that I got all these nuts put on the studs here, and I got them all dabbed up with some Loctite, I'm going to be basically torquing these all down by hand, finger tight, all the way around until I get a little bit of pressure. And there's no specific way to torque this down, but I guess it wouldn't hurt if you did a crisscross. Alright, got this set to 9 foot-pounds. Alright, good. Everything is torqued down. Man, I'm glad I just decided to do this anyways, even though my nose is still kind of bleeding. But yeah, so that is how you install a oil pan gasket on a B series. I believe they're all pretty much the same, so this video can apply to B16s, b18s, b20s. Next up's going to be doing the valve cover gasket, and then after that I'm pretty much squared away with doing all the prep work needed for this. You know what? Should I just wait until I know the motor runs and the timing is true? I can always just rinse off the gasket, I guess. But yeah, so next up, valve cover gasket. Pretty straightforward, but if you don't know, you're gonna learn. Thanks for watching, folks. Stay tuned to my next videos. Hopefully we'll have this thing put in by February, sometime in February. So that's gonna do it. Peace out.